this is a recent news story that's happened in Japan, I think this week. So the title of the article is Ukrainian-Born Model Winning Miss Japan Reignites Identity Debate. Okay, so everyone might be familiar with beauty pageants. Beauty pageant is where usually women are judged on their looks, on their outfits, and somebody is crowned Miss something. For example, Miss America, Miss Canada, in this case, Miss Japan. So it's a little bit of a scandal right now in Japan. So I thought this is an interesting topic as I live in Japan right now. And I have for a very long time. So I thought this might be an interesting topic to discuss. Okay, so welcome. Thank you guys for joining. Okay, so Ukrainian-born. When we say Ukrainian-born, like with this hyphen and born, it means this is becoming an adjective. So the model was born in the Ukraine, right? In Ukraine. So we can change it to an adjective, Ukrainian-born, Ukrainian-born model. Okay, let's check out the article, because I think these vocabulary words will appear in the vocabulary, actually, in the article. Okay, so first, there have been racial barriers, and it has been challenging to be accepted as Japanese. So this is a quote from the winner. That's what a tearful Carolina Shino said in impeccable Japanese after she was crowned Miss Japan on Monday. Okay, so a woman who was born in Ukraine but living in Japan now was crowned. She got the crown. She won Miss Japan. Let's look at some of these vocabulary. So we have racial barriers. Racial barriers. A racial barrier is a difficulty or challenge related to your race or ethnicity. Ethnicity means like where your ancestors came from. So in this case, she is from Ukraine, so she doesn't look like a typical Japanese person. I think most people living in Japan, I think it's like 99% are ethnically full Japanese, 100% Japanese. There's very little foreigners living in Japan. There's very little foreigners who are born or raised in Japan. And there's still not that many mixed children or mixed adults in Japan. And when I say mixed, I mean like Japanese and American, or Japanese and British. So Japan is a homogenous country still. So most people who live in Japan are ethnically Japanese. I don't know what it's like in your country, but I'd love to know. Please tell me. In your country, is it very diverse? For example, I come from America. America is very diverse. We have people from all over the world living in America. So we don't even raise an eyebrow at someone who looks a little bit different than us, right? In Japan, however, it's very different. Most people here are ethnically Japanese. So they generally have the same look, right? Okay. I hope that was understandable. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, okay? Very good. So, let's see. Impeccable Japanese. What does that mean? So impeccable. Impeccable means flawless. Flawless. So if you have impeccable Japanese, it's fluent and flawless proficiency in the Japanese language. Okay, impeccable Japanese means flawless Japanese. So maybe some of you are wanting to speak impeccable English. If someone tells you your English is impeccable, that is quite the compliment. So that is something to strive for, something to work hard for, to speak impeccably. Okay? Great. Okay, next part of the article. The 26-year-old model who was born in Ukraine moved to Japan at the age of 5 and was raised in Nagoya. She is the first naturalized Japanese citizen to win the pageant, but her victory has reignited a debate on what it means to be Japanese. So there might be some new vocabulary here. Let's see. I think the first part is okay. What is a naturalized citizen? In this case, a naturalized Japanese citizen. It's a person who was originally from another country but has acquired Japanese citizenship through legal processes. So when you're naturalized, a naturalized citizen, you're born in another country, in a different country, and you get citizenship in this country, the country where you live now. Usually you have to fill in a lot of documents, or you have to take a test. I know in the US, to become a naturalized citizen, one of my friends is going to become a naturalized American citizen very soon. And she has to take a test. Okay? Are there many naturalized citizens in your country? Please let me know. There are not that many naturalized Japanese citizens. Okay? Then we have reignited a debate. So we had this in the title, reignited a debate. So when you reignite something, it's kind of a renewed interest in something. So a reignited debate would be, it sparked a renewed discussion or argument. So this argument or debate has happened several times throughout history, and now this big news of a foreign-born woman winning Miss Japan, it has renewed the discussion. The discussion or the debate has come up again. Okay, is everyone following so far? I hope so. Okay, very good. So let's go on. Okay, the next part. While some recognized her victory as a sign of the times, others have said she does not look like what a Miss Japan should. Her win comes nearly 10 years after Ariana Miyamoto became the first biracial woman to be crowned Miss Japan in 2015. Okay, so some people are recognizing, admitting her victory is a sign of the times. So a sign of the times means it's reflecting the current attitudes or trends. So maybe a sign of the times is something that is kind of new and reflecting the newness of the current times, the current trends. Okay? Biracial. When we have BI for bi, biracial means two races. So bi means two. So if you know bicycle, a bicycle has two wheels. Oh, thank you, Sing. Nice to see you. Okay. So bi means two. Racial means having two races. Okay. So having parents from two different racial backgrounds. So she, I think Ariana Miyamoto, she might have been Japanese and American. Let me see. Okay. Oops. Okay. Back then, with a Japanese mother and an African American father, Miss Miyamoto's victory raised questions about whether a person of mixed race should be eligible to win the competition. So this is a picture of Miss Miyamoto, I think from 10 years ago. She won Miss Japan, and she was the first biracial person to win Miss Japan. So she is not 100% Japanese, but she does have Japanese blood. She has a Japanese mother. Okay? Okay, so what does eligible mean here? Eligible means having the right qualifications or meeting the criteria. So when this person, Miss Miyamoto, won Miss Japan, it raised questions. People started talking about it. Is this really okay for her to be Miss Japan? Because mostly Japanese women are 100% ethnically Japanese. But in her case, she's 50%, half Japanese. So people were questioning, people were talking, debating if a person of mixed race has the right qualifications to win the competition. Is everything making sense so far? I hope so. You guys are doing so good. Don't be afraid to chat and ask questions. I'll answer as many questions as I can, okay? Okay, so now the fact that Miss Shino, this is the Ukrainian-born model, has no Japanese parentage has upset some on social media. This person who was chosen as Miss Japan is not even a mix with Japanese, but 100% pure Ukrainian. I understand she's beautiful, but this is Miss Japan. Where is the Japaneseness? Said a post on X, formerly known as Twitter. Okay, so now we're talking about the current winner of the competition. So parentage. Parentage means the identity or origin of one's parents. Very simple. You can see the word parent in the word actually. She has no Japanese parentage. That means she has no Japanese parents. Okay? She is 100% Ukrainian. Then we have Japaneseness. So in English, we love to add ness to something to make it a noun. So Japanese, if someone is Japanese, it can be an adjective, but Japaneseness, like the quality of being Japanese, okay? So the quality of being Japanese or conforming to Japanese cultural and physical norms. Okay, so they're saying, okay, she's 100% Ukrainian. Where's the Japaneseness in her? She doesn't look Japanese. Maybe her native language isn't Japanese, even though it's impeccable. Where is the Japaneseness? One person on X or Twitter commented. Okay. Another person said, if she was half Japanese, sure, no problem. But she's ethnically 0% Japanese and wasn't even born in Japan, said another comment. So people are really going at this poor girl. Others said her win was sending the wrong message to others in the country. Okay, so it sounds like many people had negative things to say about this girl, this winner. So if we go on, ethnically. So when we talk about she is ethnically 0% Japanese, it means cultural and ancestral traits defining a group. So usually where your ancestors come from, she has 0% Japanese blood. Okay? Singh said, ma'am, please Facebook ID and Instagram account. I will link those after the lesson. Are you asking for my, if you look up Breeze Practical English Facebook, you can find my Facebook account. I post videos and go live over there also. Okay? So cultural and ancestral traits defining a group. That is ethnically. Ethnically Japanese, she is 0% ethnically Japanese. Then we have sending the wrong message. It's very strongly worded. When you are sending the wrong message, you're conveying information or values that are considered inappropriate or undesirable. So we often use sending the wrong message when people could get the wrong idea of what you want to say or what you mean. So it sounds like some people are saying her when is sending the wrong message to other people, saying that maybe you it's okay for non-ethnically Japanese people to enter these competitions that are supposed to be for Japanese people. Okay, so it's very strongly worded. Okay. I think that Japanese people naturally would get the wrong message. Here we say get the wrong message when a European looking person is called the most beautiful Japanese. Others questioned whether choosing the Ukrainian-born model was a political decision. Okay, a lot to talk about here, a lot to unpack here. Okay, so political decision. A decision influenced by political considerations or motives. So if we look at the second part, others questioned whether using the Ukrainian-born model was a political decision. So right now, Ukraine is in conflict with Russia. So I know that Japan has taken in some Ukrainian refugees. So some people question, is this a political decision? Is this supposed to make us support Ukraine? Is that why she won? So people are thinking that. And I want to talk about this first part up here. They said, I think that Japanese people naturally would get the wrong message when a European-looking person, so she's white, she has very pale skin, she has lighter hair, I don't know what color her eyes are, but the typical European look is called the most beautiful Japanese. So Japanese typically have a different look than European, and the European look tends to be the typical standard of beauty in a lot of places. So some people are thinking this is kind of unbalanced. If Japanese, 100% ethnically Japanese women can't win their own beauty contests. So maybe it calls into question lots of things about outward appearance. I would love to get your opinion on this because it's very interesting, I think, because in America, for example, America is a very different place than Japan. but America is very diverse. So if someone from, for example, if someone from Pakistan won a beauty contest, if someone from Japan won a beauty contest, or if someone from Egypt won a beauty contest, no matter what they look like, we would recognize them as America, because America is not like being American is not an ethnicity. But in Japan, being Japanese is closely tied to their ethnicity. Okay? I hope it's understandable. It's a very deep topic. So one person said, if she were born Russian, she wouldn't have won. Not a chance. Obviously, the criteria is now a political decision. What a sad day for Japan. One person alleged. So we have some vocabulary here. Criteria. We saw the word criteria previously. Criteria is the standards or guidelines used for making judgments. Okay? So the criteria is now a political decision. So whatever looks good politically is going to be the criteria for these kind of competitions, one person is saying. This is not the truth. This is just someone's opinion. Okay? And what does it mean to allege something? It says one person alleged. So to allege means to assert or claim something without providing conclusive proof. So when you allege something, you're throwing out an idea or saying something that is not necessarily true. You don't have any proof, but you're claiming something. Okay? Let's see. After the announcement, Iwata, the organizer of the Miss Japan Grand Prix pageant, so Miss Japan Grand Prix is the name of this beauty pageant. Okay, this person has said that the event gave us an opportunity to rethink what Japanese beauty is. Miss Wada added, following today's result, there's one thing I am convinced of. Japanese beauty exists not in the appearance, not in the blood, but it exists firmly in our heart. Okay, let's go over this. So we have rethink what Japanese beauty is. So when you rethink something, you think again. Pretty easy, right? Rethink, think again. So to reconsider or reevaluate the conventional notions of beauty in Japan. Conventional means like the typical standard of beauty. So what is beautiful in Japan? They're starting to rethink. This is an opportunity to think again. What does Japanese beauty mean? What is Japanese beauty? Okay. Then the next part, she said, Japanese beauty exists not in the appearance, not in the blood, but it exists firmly in our heart. So firmly in our heart, exists firmly in our heart. Beauty is not solely based, not just based on appearance or blood, but is deeply rooted. It's very deep in the emotions and character of individuals. So this woman who won the competition, who won the beauty pageant, she was not born in Japan, but she has lived in Japan since the age of 5. So she probably thinks Japanese, she speaks Japanese, she eats Japanese food. For all intents and purposes, she's Japanese. She just wasn't born here, wasn't born in Japan. So is she not considered Japanese then? Her passport is Japanese. So what does that mean? For example, if she were a different from a different country, for example, Korea or China, who look more similar to Japanese, have the Asian features, would she be okay to win it? Or is it just because her appearance is European? It's very interesting. Okay, please let me know what you think. I'm dying to hear what you think. Okay, it echoes what Miss Shino, the winner, had announced in Instagram earlier last year when she received Japanese nationality, saying that she may not look Japanese, but her mind had become Japanese because she had grown up in Japan. And as she accepted her trophy as Miss Japan 2024, she said winning the title was a dream. Being recognized as a Japanese in this competition fills me with gratitude. Okay, so it echoes what Miss Shino had announced. So when we say something echoes something, it means it has a similar feeling or a similar meaning, a similar sentiment or idea. So what the organizer said about beauty is in the heart, not in blood or appearance, this reflects, this echoes what the winner had announced. So it reflects or resonates with a similar sentiment or idea. Okay, so what the organizer said and what Miss Shino said kind of reflect each other. They have a similar idea, similar meaning. Okay, then we have fills me with gratitude. Gratitude is appreciation or thanks. So for her to be recognized as a Japanese person in the competition, it fills her with gratitude. This is an expression to show appreciation or thanks. It fills me with gratitude. So she has a lot of appreciation, a lot of thanks. Okay, so that was the last part of the article. I think it's quite interesting article. If I can go back to the beginning. Let's see. If you can see here are the other contestants, some of the other contestants. They're typical Japanese, right? They look the part. They look Japanese. And here is Miss Shino. She is the winner. As you can see, she's a little bit taller. She's very white. She has lighter hair. She's a typical European-looking person, right? So this is what has reignited the identity debate. What does it mean to be Japanese? What does it mean to win a beauty contest in Japan as a Japanese person but not look Japanese? It's very interesting. For example, my daughter is half American and half Japanese. So could she enter this competition if she wanted? I have two Canadian friends who live in Japan, and their daughter was born in Japan, has never lived abroad, born and raised in Japan, but she's fully white. What does that mean? So it's a very interesting debate. It's one that I don't think we'll hear the end of anytime soon. But it's quite interesting, and it's kind of unique, a unique problem or debate, because in a lot of Western countries, it's more diverse. Japan is not that diverse. So let me know what you think. You guys are doing awesome. Thank you for listening to the whole article. Good job, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay still. Let's go back. You can see me. Okay, good job. If you have any questions, just leave it in the chat, leave it in the comments.